Hello everybody, this is the Go-To family. Today we're in Athens. We are at the Acropolis. Actually, we just made our way through the entrance. Actually, we had to walk a bit further away because we had to check our stroller, so it was a little more complicated, but we're here. We are just hiking up and we're gonna go check out the Acropolis. Basically, the Acropolis in Greek is kind of like a settlement that is built above or on a high structure. That's basically what it is. So the Acropolis itself is the entire settlement that is built on top of this hill right here. So it's going to include the Parthenon and a bunch of other things. Now, the Acropolis itself, there's proof that it was inhabited about 8,000 or 9,000 years ago, or at least 8,000 or 9,000 years before Christ. So it's pretty old. But most of the modern history dates back from about the 4,000 century BC or so. There is evidence that people were living up top here where the Acropolis is in about 8 or 9,000 BC. However, all of these modern structures themselves, they date back to about the 5th century BC when King Pericles of Athens decided to build all of these. Now, he decided to do that after Athens had experienced 3 wars with Persia. The kingdom of Persia at the time was trying to invade Athens and Greece, and they were not successful. Athens defeated them about 3 times, but of course those 3 wars actually drained the economy. So as a result, King Pericles was trying to rejuvenate the Athenian economy while also kind of creating a little bit of propaganda for Athens to kind of show their dominance or their power to the other Greek city-states, because of course Greece at the time, there was no such thing. It was just a bunch of Greek city-states: Athens, Thebes, Sparta, you know, a bunch of others as well. And this was one of the reasons why they built all of these complexes here. So there are 4 structures here on the Acropolis. Of course, the main one is the Parthenon itself. Then is that small little temple over there. We also have the Propylaea, which is like the entrance, and also the Temple of Athena Nike, which was built as a commemoration to Athens' victory over the Persians. Oh man, Acropolis, absolutely stunning, guys. Wow, this is absolutely one of the wonders of the world. One of the things you just absolutely have to see. It's just majestic. Just look at it. And just look at the view from up here. Incredible, guys. The only issue is there's absolutely no shade up here. Oh God, why couldn't they plant some olive trees or something? There's zero shade and it's so hot. Oh man. Alright guys, now the entrance of the Parthenon would have been right over here on this side, which is actually the back side as you're coming in to the Parthenon, is the side all the way at the end. Now the Parthenon itself would have had 3 functions back in the day. It would have been a temple, it would have been a bank, because like I said before, Athens was slowly becoming the center of the entire Greek city-states. You know, there was over 60 Greek city-states. This is where all the money from all the Greek city-states were. And the 3rd function would have been that they stored weapons in here, just in case that, you know, they ever needed to defend or they ever needed to go to war. If you came here like some 50, 60 years ago, guys, this would have been like a pile of rubble. And you can see, guys, that parts of it are still kind of not really there yet, and that's because they are constantly building the Parthenon slowly, meticulously, year after year. They're constantly putting new pieces onto it. And now there is some talks about how much of the Parthenon they're actually going to rebuild. And most people agree that they will never rebuild the full thing completely, simply because it would not be authentic to its historical purpose, I guess we can say. So most likely it will never be rebuilt fully. Also, it will never really have a roof, from what I heard as well. Of course, the Parthenon back in the day had a roof, so I don't believe that they're going to do that on it. But now, one of the biggest shames, I have to say, guys, this is just my opinion, but it's the fact that the metopes themselves, which are like these little, they're like these art pieces, these kind of like sculpture that you see all around those parts of the entire table, going all around. And they depicted a bunch of stories, a bunch of Greek mythology stories, a bunch of stories about Athens. Of course, the main one, which is actually not on this side but on the other side, is the story of Athena facing off against Poseidon for controlled dominion over the city of Athens. And as legend says it, that they both kind of like they both kind of shot their shot, so to speak, at controlling Athens. Poseidon threw his spear in a rock somewhere here, just like that, boom, and out of that rock sprung water, just like a natural spring. But the citizens of Athens weren't impressed with that. Instead, they were more impressed by Athena, who somehow, I think she kind of like broke a rock or something, and out of that rock sprung this olive tree, which was supposed to be the first olive tree in history. And the Athenians were more impressed by the olive tree, and so I guess they chose Athena instead of Poseidon. It's kind of like almost like the original story of feminism in a lot of ways. Actually, it's the woman, Athena, that is kind of conquering, or that is kind of beating the man in a sense. And of course, the city of Athens takes its name from a woman, so it's kind of like the original story of empowering women in a sense. I find that really cool, really unique, really interesting. So right behind me is the Temple of Erechtheion, or the Erechtheion, and you can see one of the like hallmark characteristics of this temple are these columns that are actually these woman statues. You can see that, right? Instead of the typical columns that you will see in Greek temples. This is really unique, and actually because these columns were made in this woman's shape, actually it kind of stood the test of time a little better, because the head was a little thicker than normal, so it was harder for them to fall apart, I guess, in a way. You will see a lot of these statues at the Acropolis Museum, which is just beneath the Acropolis. Of course, there's also the Theater of Dionysus, which is actually not up here, it's down below. And that is a unique theater, because back in the 5th century, I believe it was also built in the 5th century, they had drama there, they had comedy. So a lot of the modern stuff that you have come to expect, they actually were doing it back then in the 5th century BC, all taking place at the Theater of Dionysus. Of course, all possible because of democracy. People were able to make fun of politicians and other people because they had freedom of speech and expression, and they were not prosecuted as a result. So, alright guys, so that's gonna do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video from Athens, the tour of the Acropolis and the Parthenon. Guys, I had a blast going up there. It's truly a magical experience to go and check out that. Guys, if you haven't done it, you absolutely have to. It is one of the most exciting, spectacular, majestic things that you could see anywhere in the world, if not at the very top. I can only think of places like Machu Picchu that can really rival this right here. So definitely something that everybody has to check out at least once in their lifetime. This is my second, so I feel very blessed. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, guys. I hope you did. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for more content from the Go-To family from here in Athens at the Acropolis and from around the world. We'll see you guys.